Counselor? There's a raccoon stuck in the vending machine.
That's so annoying. I wanted a snack.
Welcome to Trail Mix.
Our mini episodes from Camp Counselors podcast.
Each week, the stories come from you, our Camp Shady Birch campers.
We want to hear your juicy gossip,
Top secret confessions,
embarrassing and scary stories.
and sprinkle in our sage counselor advice.
Trail Mix is for the campers.
And God, do we love ya.
Hey, happy campers!
Welcome back to Trail Mix.
This is our mini episode where we read listener-submitted stories brought to you by listeners like you.
Thank you.
That's so PBS of us.
You say that every week.
No, because it is.
Because we're PBS kids. You guys know if you're on Patreon, you saw my Sagwa tribute, okay?
Yes, patreon.com/camp counselors. We did vlog going to Chinatown and finding you your mooncake.
Yes, and I loved it. I still don't believe I found the right flavor for me, but there's so many incredible flavors there, so I'm willing to keep trying. But yeah, I know Chinatown was delicious, and now I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today yet. We're recording rather early.
This may possibly be the earliest in the day we've recorded. It just turned 10 a.m.
We said that the other week too, but no, this was earlier. So we're like, maybe next week we should record at sunrise.
Oh my God, let's just keep getting 1 hour earlier until we're like a month ahead of schedule.
No, I love that.
That would be great. Okay, so for as great as Chinatown in that day was, the very next day, I'm sitting in our room. I'm teetering and tottering on my Excel spreadsheets on the laptop, and I hear Zachariah downstairs scream, "Come quick." I'm freaking out.
Yeah, and I was in the kitchen, and on the kitchen wall campers was the largest cockroach I have ever seen in my entire life. And cockroaches are pretty prevalent to New York City. We've had one or two in the couple of years we've been here. We don't have like a cockroach infested apartment.
No, I saw one that was inside of our recycling bag because I tied it up and it's clear. And I heard a little ticking and I was like, what is that? And it's in there like a little Mexican jumping bean bopping around all the cans. Luckily, it was already in the tied bag. So I just hawk to it that shit over the fence.
Ew.
And then the other time it was like in the little vestibule outside. So it wasn't even in our apartment.
But those were minis. Those were babies. Because like
Yeah.
they can squish their bodies down for like really tight crevices. This one quite possibly was like the Jolly Green Giant of cockroaches. This thing was massive. If Clifford the Big Red Dog was big, this was like Clifford the Big Red Cockroach. It was huge, and it was crawling on the wall like Spider-Man with its antennas that were probably like 6 inches long. So obviously I screamed because I didn't know how to handle it, and I just needed someone to be there to handle it with me.
And they scatter. Like they
tip tap.
Yeah, they can take their damn time, as this one was, but at any given second, he can just like lunge at you. I didn't know they could fly. They have wings, apparently.
Oh, that makes sense, though.
That's an added level of horror. And it would be a missed opportunity to not call this one Papa Roach.
Oh, this was so Papa Roach coded. So we put a Tupperware container over it, and then we put some paper behind it. And we did let it go. I let it outside in the backyard. We did save the container. I covered it in Dawn dish soap and put it in the sink to soak.
Oh, yeah, I
Should I have
scrubbed
thrown
shit.
that out?
No, we scrubbed it. We it soaked. And we scrubbed
And
it.
It wasn't dead in there. It was just tip-tapping in there.
Yeah, wait, should we throw it out, campers?
Well,
Is that gross to keep it?
It's mixed in the bin, in the forbidden bin of Tupperware. We have a drawer that just it's overflowing with.
Throw them all out.
Yeah, I don't know what to do, but you know what's funny? The video of him outside walking away, I texted it to my friends and I was like, look at this thing. And they were like, this diva is unbothered. She survived that and she's walking away with her head held high. She didn't even care. She literally was like strolling around the backyard like, whatever. On to my next victim. Like, she was unscathed. We were scathed. We're talking about her right now.
Evicted again. But it brings me to the thought, like, in situations like this, I feel like I'm just always unprepared. Like, I don't know what to do. I grabbed the Tupperware container and I threw it over it because I was like, okay, let's get it contained. And it has to be in a clear thing because I want to be able to see the bitch.
True.
And then what? And then we were panicking because I was like, well, I'm leaning against this wall for a full like 2 minutes now. I thought maybe we just duct tape it and leave it there until it passes, but I don't think they pass.
I think they're known to be able to survive like a nuclear bomb or something. So like those things, you have to really put your all into killing them. So I said, let's let the elements take care of her.
What benefit do cockroaches have to humankind, to mankind?
I would rather have a cockroach in my apartment than a mosquito. Because guess what? They don't bite people.
They hiss. Where's the hissing coming from?
I didn't hear it hiss.
No, this one didn't hiss, but we did piss it off. But campers, what do you do in a situation if there's like a giant millipede, which we have also had? Also, Buffy was of no help. She was in the room witnessing the whole thing go down. Like, I have seen her too with the centipedes with like a million little legs. Is that a millipede? Probably. And she just looks at it. And I'm like, literally do something, girl. You don't pay rent. This could be like, I don't know, back pay for everything you've ever done. And she just stares.
To be fair, she was doing her acrylics upstairs. She had her hand under the light, and she was like, okay, the timer has 30 seconds. I'll be there in a minute. But
it was a gel coat, so it was taking extra time. I get it.
Yeah, her French tips look amazing, though, because she does take her time with those.
But you're just never prepared to see a little visitor from a critter in your house. It was scary. We're not gross, too. New York City, it happens all the time, okay?
Yeah. Should we get into today's episode?
Let's get into today's episode.
Okay, I have a camper who led a fantastical life of smoke and mirrors on her Instagram story.
I've got a camper caught in a poultry predicament.
Okay, and then I have a camper who took a Xanax at the mall, and the rest is actually insane.
And a college student who found themselves in a root beer ruckus.
Let's get into it.
Are we qualified to be giving advice? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Absolutely. Welcome back to Dear Counselors. If you need advice from two gay professionals who have been successfully running a camp since 1964, this is your time to write in. Go to campcounselorspodcast.com or send us an email, campcounselorspod@gmail.com.
Period.
We should get a Hotmail. Are they still around at hotmail.com?
Yeah, and then the email's going to expire. My brother still has an AOL. I can't get into it right now.
Who's got an AOL out there? Okay, vintage. Love that. Our camper writes, first, let me say I absolutely love the podcast and have been listening since the very beginning. Please forgive me for this long story. To me, it is short, LOL. But I am one that feels the need to over-explain everything. Honestly, I get it. A little backstory. I graduated college in May of this year, 2024. I was a first-generation student and the youngest of 5 siblings, and the first sibling to move 2 hours away from home to go to school. My degree is in poultry science with a biomedical science minor. I can only assume poultry science is like a little chicken wearing a lab coat. Professor Beaker.
No, it's definitely, it's just chicken. It could even be a butterball minor. You know, Thanksgiving, hey, is probably getting really busy for you right now. She's clocking in this camper.
Okay, so my career is in the poultry industry, focusing on animal welfare and quality assurance.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I want to make sure that our chickens and turkeys are good. You don't partake in that palate, but I do. So
I don't, and I can shelf it. Okay, so that's very strong, very brave of me. Please reassure me in the comments. Okay, so some info about my fiance. We met on Tinder, and after 3 years, we are engaged and moving into the next chapter of our life. My fiance, let's call him K, dropped out of community college before we met and was in between jobs, struggling to find his passion in a career. But eventually, he was offered a great job and has loved it since. He travels for work, but the shop where he works out of is located here in the town we currently live in. He's expressed to me about how much he loves his job and that he has never felt happier. Okay, let's keep that in mind as we move forward. He struggled to find a career he was passionate about and has never expressed feeling fulfilled in any of his jobs since we've been together. He makes a good amount of money and was able to let me quit my job as a vet tech during my last semester of college so I could solely focus on school and graduating. Oh, what a man. We currently are on a 12-month lease that will end in March of 2025, and our wedding is in October 2025. I promise this little piece of information is important. The jobs that I'm seeking and I'm most qualified for are not available in the area we currently live. The salary for a position like mine is either similar to his income and potentially more. We've discussed things like what would happen if I was offered a job out of town and we had to move. Kay, being the sweet and loving fiance that he is, says he will go anywhere with me. Here's the problem. I can't help but feel guilty for taking him away from something he has finally found fulfillment in. He loves what he does, except being away from home while he's traveling. But on the other hand, I don't want to feel like I got this degree for no reason. I sometimes go down a rabbit hole of emotions about life and feel like a complete burden to Kay. He has told me multiple times that he does not want me to hold back and does not want me to settle into a job that I don't see myself growing in for the next 2 to 5 years. I've been looking up jobs for him near the areas that I would get a job during my free time to see if he could possibly be qualified for anything, but I couldn't find anything similar to what he does now. Okay, here's a key piece of information, a little more detail that will lead to explain why this is so complicated. Kay is a mechanic for drill rig boats and travels through the US and to different countries to oil rigs to work on their hydraulic systems. But otherwise, when he's not on the water, he is in the shop full time. All the work he does needs to be near water. My career opportunities lie 4 hours inland near the countryside. Remember, she's working with poultry. The advice I'm asking for is, what the hell do I do? Kay is the type of person that finds joy in seeing me happy, which could be a blessing and a curse. I know I have some time before our lease is up. However, I can't help but feel like I'm stuck in an empty void after graduating. I've applied to jobs within my city, but come on, girl. I have a 4-year degree and this is not what I want to do. Absolutely not. I do DoorDash in the mornings to make some extra cash and to feel like I actually have something to look forward to. But the burnout from that is creeping in. So counselors, lay it on me. Love always, the girl that loves helping chickens cross the road in cabin 24. Okay, campers, we have a lot to unpack here. Do you have any initial thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think you should feel guilty. I think you should move. I think you went to school for a reason. He knows that. He's been very vocal about him being okay with doing this. Like, I think you have a heart and that's why you feel guilty about it. But like, relationships are all about compromise. There are no chickens by the sea. Sorry to
Chicken of the sea.
Yeah, sorry to Jessica Simpson there. But no, he's gonna be okay. You know, you went to school for a very long time and he's saying that it's okay. You need to give yourself at least a chance to try it out before you never give it a chance. You spent 4 years getting that degree and a lot of money. I feel bad. I feel like it's a really complicated situation here, but like, I think you gotta take a leap for yourself for a minute, and he's on your side. So stop beating yourself up, camper.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Definitely, you sound like a very empathetic person
Totally.
who is kind of internalizing a lot. So I would definitely communicate more with Kay, but it does sound like he is saying he's willing to move. So just don't feel guilty about doing what you want to do, what you went to school for. And who knows, maybe there's something else out there that he would find fulfilling too. Also, my question is there something within this line of work that you could do like temporarily just before you do like a full permanent thing, if that would make you feel better? I don't know. But I would say, yeah, just, do you. He sounds like he's going to be supportive and happy with whatever you want to do. And I feel like it is kind of in a relationship, best case scenario with him,
This episode of Camp Counselors is sponsored by Factor. Sweater weather pairs perfectly with savory fall foods. But with your busy schedule, sometimes it's hard to eat the way you'd like to. That's where Factor comes in. Their chefs do the shopping and the chopping to bring you fresh, never frozen, fully cooked meals right to your doorstep. Yes, campers, chef-prepared meals ready to eat in just 2 minutes. All of their meals are dietitian approved, so you know you're getting the nutrition you need along with fall flavors you crave. When it comes to meals, everyone wants the same thing: options. That's why Factor offers 35 wholesome meals every week, including Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, Vegan and Veggie, so you'll always find something you love that suits your lifestyle. There's more to Factor than just lunches and dinners. From easy breakfasts and smoothies to delectable midnight snacks, Factor has over 60 plus add-ons to keep you fueled and focused 24/7. Head to factormeals.com/camp50 and use code CAMP50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code CAMP50 at factormeals.com/CAMP50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. This is a really big secret. Thank God we're on a body of water. This is Confession Canoe. Welcome back to confession. Canoe campers, we're back in the habit, we're back in the canoe, and we have a lot to confess, get off our chest. You have one as well, right? So we have two
I
back
do.
to back.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll go first for mine. Hey, camp counselors. So my confession starts back in 2018. I just moved away from a small, close-minded redneck town to a much bigger city for university. I was 20 years old and didn't have any friends growing up, so I spent a lot of time alone, mainly in my room. I was excited to move away from home and make new friends, and most importantly to me at the time, lose my virginity. I know 20 years old is kind of a long time to wait, but I didn't want some idiot from my hometown to pop my precious cherry. Love that, camper. She said, none of you uggos. I need some city boys up in here. I love that. So anyway, the day I get into the city, I got my keys for my apartment and was looking around my neighborhood when I recognized this guy from Instagram. He waved at me and then a week later DM'd me to come to his place. So I did, and I did it.
Okay.
Also, side note, I curated a playlist on my YouTube MP3 download music app thing. I didn't have Spotify at the time, and I timed it so I would lose my virginity during Maisie Starr's Rhyme of an Hour. Yeah, I felt like I was in my very own coming-of-age movie, listening to Muffled Maisie on my insanely cracked iPhone 5. What's that Maisie Starr sound that like that song that
I
we
think it's
know?
Mazzy Star.
Oh, is it Mazzy?
And
I'm
it's
sorry.
Fade Into You.
Fade
Into You.
Yeah, she's definitely like coming of age. I'm so sorry. Mazzy.
Mazzy Star.
Oh,
And
is she related to Muzzy?
Her name actually is Hope Sandoval.
Tom
she is
Sandoval?
related to Tom Sandoval.
She is?
I don't know, but I just felt like throwing that in there. But her name is Hope Sandoval.
I'm so sorry, guys. So Mazzy, but great song choice. I'm really impressed. So we're both basically like, yeah, we're not looking for anything serious, blah, blah, blah. But obviously, I developed feelings and wanted this guy to think I was the coolest, which looking back, I should have been way kinder to myself because I was cool. He was a little older than me and had a ton of friends. He would also post all these cool artsy photos on his Instagram story of him going out to all these cool places and hanging out with his friends. So I wanted to impress him. I can't believe I'm admitting this. Our camper writes.
Thanks for the clarification.
I wanted to impress him. So I would go to all of these cool model pages that weren't really too big in the scene yet. And I would go to their stories and screenshot like a vague photo that you can't really tell who's in the picture, like at a party or a nice breakfast that they're having, or like someone swimming. I don't know, just people having a fun time. And then she'd post them because she was so introverted and didn't really go out at all. And she would go to her story and hide it from every single follower except him. I know, it's so cringe. But you know what? It worked.
That seems like a lot of work and complicated. I've never really hidden my story from anybody.
She hid it from every single person except him. And these aren't pictures of her. These are like random models accounts of like just parties. If there was a cool story I posted, he would DM me and be like, whoa, that's sick. What are you doing today? And I play hard to get and be like, oh, nothing, just hanging out. And then he'd be like, want to hang out with me? So yeah, this went on for quite a while. But I started posting more and more of myself because I started going out more. Because I felt more confident because I was having sex. Or maybe just getting some confidence from other people's experiences. I'm not sure. So this one night, I posted a pic from this one photographer that I follow from Portland. He also followed me back. The photo was like a person at a party or something. So I didn't realize I didn't hide the story from him because he had just recently followed me. So I get a DM from him commenting on this story saying, oh, with a bunch of question marks. I fucking shat myself. In that moment, not really, but you got it. I immediately took the photo down from my story and threw my phone across the room. And yeah, that was it for me. I was so embarrassed, but you know what? He never unfollowed me and still talks to me to this day. Crazy, I know. As for the guy I was trying to impress, we parted ways. And at the time, I was really bummed because I liked him a lot. But looking back, did I really? Or did I like the person I was trying to be, which wasn't really me, just this weird made-up version of me that was actually other people. Anyway, I'm no model, going to fancy brunches or cool rooftop parties, but I am comfortable with who I am today. This slightly more extroverted girl with a handful of friends in cabin 10. Okay, bye, love you.
That is so embarrassing. He's just like, Okay.
Like, why are you posting my photo and pretending it's you? No credit, just like zooming in to make it seem skewed enough to be like, my life. Actually, not your life. Okay.
Okay, let's keep the confessions coming, campers. Another confession canoe. Title, Am I a Bad Person or Am I Just Stoned at the Pizzeria? Now, that can be a Lana Del Rey song, potentially a Lorde song.
Yeah. Oh, it could be both. You're so right. I do feel like it fits both.
Stoned at the Nail Salon is such a good song. Hey, happy counselors. I love you both so much. And I feel like we're friends who meet up on Mondays and Wednesdays. Now I got a confession. The year was 2012. It's my first year at college. I'm a small town girl, so life on campus in the big city was quite a change for me. Now, I want to preface this by saying I had dabbled with the devil's lettuce numerous times before college, but it was nothing compared to the lettuce I experienced in college. One night, my friends and I smoked a little, and by a little I mean a lot, and then headed to a very small on-campus pizza by the slice shop. I was on a different planet. My body was there, but I was floating through some cosmos, drifting into the pizzeria, enticed by the delicious scent of pizza. That's like a Bugs Bunny gif of him like
Floating.
yeah, smelling the pie. I needed it. It was going to be the best pizza I had ever tasted. The place was packed. I'm talking shoulder to shoulder, and it was loud. This is our nightmare. Like being in a public setting where it's so crowded. I'm already stimulated, having not smoked, having me smoked. I'm like, I am not chill in a situation like this. Rarely do I partake, but if I do, it's going to be on my couch with Counselor Zagariah and our cat. Anyway, orders were being shouted and people were talking and laughing. The way the line worked was you order your combo, which included a slice, a drink, and a cannoli. How cute. I've never heard of a pizza combo, including a cannoli.
Yeah, the cannoli, that's a fresh take, and I want to see that more often. I don't even like cannolis, but if it was offered to me, I'd have one, of course.
Yeah, of course. It's a bargain. You gotta shop a combo. So then you tell them your drink. They would then make the drink, you take it, and you wait for your number to be called when your food was ready. We've all been there, we get it. Being in the state I was in, I was only focused on sounding coherent and appearing totally not high. So the person before me orders a root beer. The staff was one drink behind, so that person steps aside. I place my order and grab my drink off the counter. I take a sip. Root beer. I'm a Dr. Pepper girl.
Me too.
This drink is not mine. The person behind me walks up to the counter and says to the staff, "Hey, this is Dr. Pepper. I ordered a Coke." The person in front of me says, "Hey, I haven't gotten my drink." Then the next person's drink, also wrong, set off a completely chaotic chain reaction. Chaos ensues. No one has a correct drink. Everyone is scrambling. I'm a huge mess of confusion. Me? Oh, I'm silently panicking, praying my food comes out soon so I can run. This root beer I'm holding in my hand does not belong to me. But I am so high I cannot admit to being the one causing the chaos in this chain reaction. I am too embarrassed. With one mindless mistake, I messed up the entire beverage flow. I'm sweating, my heart is pounding, the guilt is overwhelming, and I still silently drank the root beer, pretending it was Dr. Pepper. My order was finally called, so I grabbed my food and I never looked back. To this day, I never know if they got the soda sorted out. Sincerely, the Stony Baloney Camper in cabin 420. This is one of those situations where it's just like at face value, I would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I grabbed the drink, but you add a little devil's lettuce. See, this is why they tell you not to dabble with the devil. This is what happens.
That would be like such a great animated sequence. Like, it's just so cartoony.
Like the Comedy Central, the one that you did.
Yeah.
What was that called? It was like
Tales from the Trip.
Tales from the Trip. I wonder if they still do that. You guys, go on YouTube. I'll link it below and look up Zach's. It's funny. It's on the internet. It was for Comedy Central, but literally so awful.
Yeah, because you just like shrink into a version of yourself when you're high like that, especially when there's like panic involved. Like you can't. You're going to sip your beer and you're going to just ignore it. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have never admitted to that. Even if I was sober and I saw that many people shouting about drinks, I'm like, they can refill the soda cups. I can't involve myself.
Just shake my cup and be like, this one's mine. This is right. Thanks, guys. Dr. Pepper. All 23 flavors.
I know, but when you want a Dr. Pepper and you don't get it, and you're like, it's like, I want a root beer when I want a root beer, but don't give me a root beer out of I don't know.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. I don't want surprise root beer ever.
I get it. Well, Camper, we're so glad you survived that.
Yeah. Hey, that's comparable to some war stories I've heard. Like, that's traumatic.
Scary stories around the campfire.
Welcome back to Scary Stories Around the Campfire. Boy, do I have a scary story for you.
Okay.
I didn't see where this was going the entire time, and it just got more chaotic and more chaotic. The title of the email was My First and Last Xanax.
Oh, God.
Everybody buckle in and slow down. Hey, counselors. Love the pod, and you guys are an absolute delight. I'm going to share my most shameful memory. I've buried it deep down, but I think Camp Shady Birch is the perfect place to unearth it. Anyways, strap in and strap on. I was 20 years old, a community college student and a part-time babysitter. Not much going on. My then boyfriend got us tickets to see JB Smoove in the city, so my plan was to hightail it to Forever 21 after babysitting, buy a cheap fit, then drive straight to the train station. I'd meet my boyfriend at Grand Central, and we'd grab dinner before the show. I think JB Smoove is a comedian.
I was just going to ask, who on God's green earth is JB Smoove?
No, he's a comedian. I typed in with a TH, not a VE at the end of Smoove.
Oh.
And I think he's the comedian. Because Smooth, I was like, this person has 13 monthly listeners on Spotify. You really love an underground artist.
It's like, were you just going to a friend's living room?
No, I think it's the comedian. Either way, it doesn't really matter in this story.
With a concert or show?
She did a show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so to me, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Anyways, seemed like a solid plan until I noticed a loose Xanax bar my friend had left in my purse after borrowing it the night before. She was super messy. I had never taken Xanax before. I don't have anxiety. There was no reason I should take it, but it was a Saturday, so I thought, why not? I was responsible, so I took it after babysitting, but I was also 20 and stupid, so I took it on my way to the mall. I thought it would kick in when I was on the train later that day, so I wasn't prepared for the rapid effects it had on my mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, girl, it's not an extended release.
I stepped into the mall. I felt fucked up in a way that I can only describe as fuzzy. I can't tell you how long I was there, what I bought, or how I changed into the new outfit, but I will never forget what followed. I kind of get this so far because it's like, sometimes like you're just feeling silly goof.
You're like, I'm running to Forever 21 and I found a little pill at the bottom of my Coach bag that my friend borrowed
it's a Coach
last
bag.
night.
It's a Coach bag.
Yeah.
It's a Coach. This is Coach bag.
We're 20 years old and we're letting our friend borrow it. It's a Coach bag.
Yeah, it's a Coach bag.
Yeah, and I'm going to take it while I'm shopping the clearance section. What else do you think I'm going to do today?
I think with like Xanax too, I think people kind of like look at it as like an edible. It's like, oh, it's a little edible, but it's like, no, these things can really pack a punch. And this thing really packed a punch.
Oh, God. Don't do this recreationally, campers. We don't endorse.
I had accidentally left my keys inside my beat up car, which was so old it could only be unlocked by the key. I didn't know what time it was, but I felt like I was running late. She just like, no, because she knew. Her internal clock said, you're late, babe.
Not at heightening her anxiety. Wait, I'm sorry. She's still at the mall? So
yes.
Okay, so her car's in the mall parking lot.
She's in the mall parking lot.
Oh, my God, girl.
I didn't want to miss my train. I didn't panic. I was so calm, cool, and collected and barred out, obviously. I knew how to handle it and was sure I'd make it to my train on time. It was clear to me that the obvious and only way to get into my car was through the driver's side window. Vibes were high as I punched the glass, making a hole about the size of a bread box in the window to crawl through.
She just punches?
Barred out, cool, calm, and collected.
Window.
Punched a hole through it. The size of a bread box is really important to mention here.
I am shocked that her body is giving her the ability to do said thing.
Babe, she used her bare hands.
That is crazy.
She remembers being amazed that it didn't hurt.
Oh, that part doesn't shock me.
I then proceeded to drag my entire body through the hole across the jagged shards of glass until I was sitting in the driver's seat. I honestly thought I nailed it.
Oh my God, she's like covered in shards of glass and she's bleeding everywhere. She's like, I am slaying this day away.
I assume I just sat there for a while because the last thing I remember was my boyfriend picking me up from the mall parking lot, just leaving my car behind. Torso down, I was covered in blood, new outfit ruined, no JB Smooth show, and no dignity. It took weeks for my scrapes and cuts to heal.
Oh my God.
And I have never barred out again.
Good.
Signed the Pill Queen in Cabin 16.
That's the self-title.
Literally insane. Just bad mistake after bad mistake. Just looking at your car window, barred out, being like, yeah, I'm going to drag my body through a hole I just punched.
Why not call your boyfriend who may have a pair of spare keys?
Hey, listen, she didn't know what time it was, but she felt like she was going to be late. She said, I'm cool. And the thing is, like, you're so not cool, calm, and collected. But imagine like going back to your car with your Annie Ann soft pretzel and you look over and there's a girl karate chopping her window open. Yeah.
What kind of car did you have? Because I'm curious, like, glass doesn't really break that easily.
No, it doesn't. And I actually just learned that if you're inside your car and you're trapped and you need to break your window, people instinctually want to punch the middle, but your windows are more easily broken on the corners of the glass.
Oh.
Isn't that? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. I've seen the little things. It looks like a little
hole punch thing. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to punch the window.
But you should always do that in the corner because then it will break everything. If you do that in the middle, that's the strongest part of the glass.
Oh,
You know
that
what
makes
I mean?
sense.
It does, but in your moment, you're like, let me go right for the middle. But I had a Volvo in high school,
Yeah.
and that you had to use. It didn't have you had to use your key to unlock it.
Okay.
Same thing with my Ford. In college I had a Ford Fiesta, which is like, that just sounds like a car I would have.
It
a Ford
does.
Fiesta.
And it also sounds like a party.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I bought it with 60,000 miles on it for $10,000, and that wasn't a deal. Yeah, that wasn't a deal, and no one co-signed for me. Thanks, guys.
I love that the key was acoustic, though. I miss that. You have to put it in. And
Yeah, so I think this key was acoustic as well. So there's a lot of cars like that. I'm picturing a Volvo, maybe a Subaru.
I want to pull the security footage. I want to see the CCTV footage of this mall parking lot.
She's literally in like a mini like skirt from Forever 21, like literally a club outfit, punching a hole through a window, and it's 4 p.m. on this sunny afternoon.
Her t-shirt from Forever 21 says vibes.
It's like a PBR t-shirt with Lana on it. I don't even know. That's crazy. The Pill Queen in Cabin 16.
Oh my God. You guys don't do recreational drugs, please.
We've talked about recreational drugs a lot in this episode.
I know, but I feel like we have to clear our... Oh my God, we have. Let's clear our name.
I don't care.
If you guys want to come on down to the newly installed cabin brought to you by Dare. Dare to resist drugs. Dare to do drugs. You decide.
Jonathan, you're in your 30s. I'm almost 30. Okay, do what you're gonna do. Leave me out of it.
Or bring us into it, and you can write us in at campcounselorspodcast.com or send us an email at campcounselorspod@gmail.com. Make sure you give us a 5-star rating and review where you can. We have received some ratings that sound absolutely great, but accidentally gave us 1 star. So just double check that before you send it.
Yeah, I love this show so much. It's really changed my life. 1 star. It's like,
I think that was a little slip of the finger.
No, who cares? It's all fun. We love you guys so much. We'll see you Wednesday. We'll see you Monday. We'll see you forever. And with that being said, lights out, campers.